watch it later. Let's start with grammar. Woohoo! Grammar's so fun. I figured if we keep saying it, maybe it will be someday, but I don't know. Okay. This is page 61. Page 61, we're talking about verbs. You guys know about verbs, so this is kind of a review, but you're going to start labeling your verbs in this book. Well, you have been really, but we're going to talk about helping verbs and linking verbs. They're a little bit different. Mainly, we're talking about helping verbs today, but anyway, a verb shows an action. You already know that. It links the subject to another word, or it helps another verb. So in week 9, you learned about action verbs. Those are easy to spot. In week 10, you learned about linking verbs. We did learn about those. And this week, we're going to learn about helping verbs. A helping verb helps an action verb or a linking verb. The helping verb is always followed by another verb. The words below are helping verbs. So here they are. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, may, might, must, can, will, shall, could, would, should. There you go. That's all of them. And they help another verb usually. So it says, find the helping verb in the sentence, look for the action or linking verb that the helping verb helps. Oh, here comes Christopher. Yay. To find the subject, ask who or what is doing the verb. So you're going to write V above each verb and S above each subject. So here's your example right in the middle of the page here. It says the princess would steal to get the magic bag. So here we have would steal. We know that steal is a verb, right? That's an action. So would is helping it. It goes right next to it. It helps it. So would steal, those are both verbs. And then the subject is the princess. That's the one who's doing the action, right? The princess would steal. So she's doing the action. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the that clause. Yes, Olivia?
So is a helping verb basically making the sentence sound better?
Yeah. It's making the sentence, I think that's a good way to put it. It's making the sentence sound better, but it's also kind of adding to the verb, because you could say the princess steals, I guess you could say, to get the bag, but would steal is telling like in the future she would steal, so it's kind of helping tell when it would happen or how, you know, a little bit more about the verb, so it's helping it a little bit. But that is a good way to put it, though. Good question. That clause, by the way, I think I saw, hi Christopher, I saw you come in. We're on page 61. That clause is a group of words that begins with the word that. So it's pretty easy to find because it always starts with that. And it contains a subject and a verb. It must be added to a sentence that is already complete. Okay, you're going to mark it with parentheses like this. Look at the example. She knew that she wanted the magic bag. So that word that is the beginning of the that clause, and it's usually the rest of the sentence. Okay, and you can also ask yourself, what did she know that she wanted the magic bag? It'll tell you what she knows, okay, or that part of that sentence. And no commas there. You don't need any commas around that clause. And then at the very bottom here, there's a handy dandy list of helping verbs. If you ever need to go back and check that, this is where you would find it. So if you have a Post-it note, you can mark this page, you know, the part when you stick it up at the top. So the sticky part's here, and the part that sticks up at the top of that, you can put helping verbs. And that way, if you ever need to go back to this page, you can find it really fast. So you can stick it up there like that. So it's sticking up over the top. See how I have mine? If you don't have a Post-it, it's okay, but this will help if you do have one. Just stick it over the top. Olivia?
So when you're rewriting your sentence and you have a that clause, do you just put parentheses?
Well, yeah, but I forgot. You're right. You have to write the word that on top of it too. So you're labeling it as a that clause. So you put parentheses. Oh, and not in your writing. You don't have to use it in your writing. It's only in this book, the grammar book. Does that make sense?
Because like on the things on our practice page, if we were looking for a that clause, but we had to rewrite it on the bottom,
Oh,
how would we rewrite it?
yeah, good question. When you rewrite it on the bottom, you do not have to put the parentheses. You're just gonna write it like a regular sentence with all the things that you fix on there. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so here we are to our practice page on 63. How about Phoenix? Can you read the sentence today?
The second soldier remembered that he had told the story of the bag to the princess.
Good. Remembered is our vocabulary word. My family's kidding.
Birthday to you.
Look what we got, you guys. And I gotta hold it up. Can you see it? It's a giant donut with candles. Here, come in the camera and say hi to everybody. This is this is Mr. Cisneros, and this is my daughter Juliana. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice. Okay, I gotta make a wish. I got it. They're all on mute, so it's quiet.
Oh,
But I see them. Thank you.
You're
Can I have a bite?
Yes.
How do you even pick this thing up?
I'll take the candles.
Did you see how big this is? It's like bigger than my head. Okay, hold on. I gotta get a bite. Wow. Oh my. Look at this thing, you guys. Ready? Gotta take a bite. Oh. Oh yeah. Thank you. Maple bar. That's a ginormous maple bar.
Yeah, that's for you.
I've never seen one that big. Wow. Thank you. That was so nice. They totally surprised me. Man, that's good stuff. I'll have to eat that after class. That was fun. All right, let's see. Where are we? What are we doing? What day is it? What's my name? Okay, I think I'm okay. Remembered. To think of it again. That's what remembered is. Olivia?
Also, it's to keep something in your mind. I looked it up in a dictionary this morning.
Ah, good. Yes, I like that. To keep something in your mind. That's a good way to put it. You must have been up early this morning, already reading the dictionary and stuff. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's see. Christopher. Where are the articles? A-N and the. You see them in here? Go ahead and tell us where they are, what they are.
The beginning of the sentence.
The
second line.
Down here, the.
And one before the princess.
Okay, and one before the bag. The. There's lots of those in this. Cash, what about the nouns? Where are the nouns at?
Soldier and princess.
Soldier and princess. Good. Oh, there's two more.
Bag.
Yes. One more.
Story.
There you go. Good, Cash. Let's see, Lacey. Or no, wait, Olivia's next. Olivia, where's the pronoun? Remember what a pronoun is?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. He.
Yes, good. Now, Lacey, what about the adjective? That's the one that describes a noun. I'll give you a clue if you need a clue.
Second soldier.
Yes. Oh, you got it. You didn't even need a clue. Good job. It's telling which one. So which soldier is the second soldier? Good. We're going to come back to prepositional phrases here. So let's go to the that clause. So I don't see Liana at the moment. So Mariah, I'm going to give you this one. Where is the that clause?
There. On there.
Starts with that. And where does it go? Where does it end?
All the way to princess.
Good, yes. And so we're going to mark it with parentheses like that. You're right, Mariah. Good job. And then write the word that on top of it because we're going to label it. Awesome. Now, Mariah, I'm going to come back to you. Let's look for the verbs next because we're at the point of subject-verb pairs, but it's always easier to find the verbs first. So where do you see verbs in here? This is for Liana.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're Liana, right?
Yeah.
You're funny. Yeah, where are the verbs at? Action words, or it could be helping words, helping verbs. You need a clue?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the soldier doing? The soldier, what?
Remembers?
Remembered. That's actually a verb because it's like thinking in your head, right? So, and it also ends with an ed. That's another clue. Remembered. And then that what else did he do?
Story. Bag.
No, those are nouns. He did this.
Told.
Told. Okay, that's like speaking, right? That's an action. And then that word had is a helping verb. Had told. They go together. Okay. So he had told the story. Means it was in the past, right? Okay, now we need to find the subjects. So Lacey, where are the subjects in the sentence? So who was it that remembered?
The soldier.
Soldier is one subject. And then who had told the story in the that clause there?
He.
Good. So remember clauses like this one all have subject verb pairs too. So remember they're inside the clauses too. Now everything has a label. So the ones that don't have a label, that's your clue that it's probably a prepositional phrase. So I'm going to go back to, let's see, Olivia. Do you see the two prepositional phrases in this sentence?
Of the bag to the princess.
Good, yay. So of and to do not have a label on it. That's why I like to keep that for last. Of the bag is one prepositional phrase and to the princess is another one. Nice. And then back to Phoenix, what about which word should be capitalized?
The.
Good, the first word. And then Cash, what do we need for our end mark here?
Princess.
Good, at the end of princess, it's a period. I figured that's what he meant. A period. It usually is a period. Sometimes it's a question, but
Yeah.
okay. Good, you guys. That's it for this lesson. And then your homework will be the next 3 pages. So if you save the prepositional phrases for last, it'll help you out. It'll help you find those. Any questions about the grammar today?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Alrighty, so you guys finished up. Let me see your homework, your other homework that you had this week. You guys finished up why a possum has a bare tail this week. So we're done with that one. But before we put it away, go ahead and get out everything from your front pocket there. Okay. Before we put it away, I want you to get out your banned words list again. This is what we started last week. It's the blue page. It should be in the front of your binder. Give me a thumbs up if you have that. Good. And do you guys have anything written on it yet? Yeah, what do you have, Olivia, on yours at the top?
Say, said, see, saw.
Say, said, and see, saw. Is that what everybody else has too?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, and remember, we talked about banned words. It's not because they're bad words. It's just because they're boring words, right? So we're trying to get your writing to sound better. And so when we say banned, it means you're not allowed to use them anymore.
In the sentences.
In the sentences, you have to come up with better words than say, said, or see, saw. Did you guys remember to watch for that on your paragraphs? Okay, good. I see you nodding. That's good. Olivia?
I use a thesaurus to come up with the better words.
Good. That's a great way to do it because you'll find a bunch of ideas in there. So if you have a thesaurus at your house, that's the best thing to use. If you don't, and you have to ask your parents, but maybe you can go to thesaurus.com or Google even, just type in Google, what's another word for said? And the computer, you know, they'll give you suggestions. But check with your parents before you do that, okay? So we're going to add a couple more. Right next to seesaw, I want you to put, you're going to have to squeeze it in because they're kind of big words. Think/thought. So we're going to go think/thought. You have to squeeze it in there because those are kind of big words there. Think, thought. There we go. And, you know, those are fine words. It's not that they're bad, but they're kind of boring because we use them a lot. So what can we say? Remember, thinking happens inside your head. So things that happen inside your head. Can anybody think of a word? Okay, Olivia, you have an idea?
I dreamed.
Good, dreamed. That's a good one. Or even like hoped. That happens inside your head, right? When you're thinking about something, you hope something. So go ahead and write these down in your column under think thought, because we're not going to use think thought anymore. You have to come up with something different. Anybody else have an idea? How about imagined? Or even the word knew, like I knew in my head, I knew that. Mariah, do you have one?
I think I was thinking of I forgot it.
Okay, that's okay. Let me know if you think of it. Olivia?
Knowing.
Knowing, yeah. Realized. Believed. Okay, that's a good start. We'll leave it like that. I'll leave a little space here in case you think of a couple more. But I like Olivia's idea. If you need to look into a thesaurus, it's like a dictionary, but it tells you words that you could use instead of that. Mariah, did you remember?
It was ponder.
Ooh, pondered. I like that. Let's add that one too, pondered. And then we're going to add one more band word, and it's go/went.
Go.
Go/went. So, and by the way, that includes everything about go, like going. You can't use that either. So go, going, went, all of those types of words, those are boring. So we need to come up with better ways of saying that. What's another way to say go or went? Phoenix?
Dashed.
Ooh, I like that. Dashed.
Or would prance be like something? Because you're like moving and like you're going.
Yeah, we could make it past tense. Pranced. You pranced into the room, or the pranced is usually like you're thinking you're all that, right? What else? For go went. Cash.
Zoom.
Ooh, I like that. Zoomed. Zoomed into the room. Could be pretty much anything in, like an action. Rushed. Olivia?
Walked.
Walked. Yep. Let's see, Mariah.
What? Like a trout, like trout is trot.
Trot, like trotted,
Yeah, like they trot,
like a
walking fast, kind of.
yeah, for a horse, but that would work. Did you have one, Cash? I mean, Phoenix?
Ran.
Yeah, ran would work. All right, that's a good list so far. We'll leave that one like that. So now in your writing, you cannot write. It's okay to say it when we're talking. I'm talking about your writing only. So you cannot use say, said, see, saw, think, thought, or go, went. You can't use those anymore. So when you're writing, make sure you stay away from those words and come up with better words. It'll show you on the checklist, which we're going to get out next. Okay, so this page, the blue page, goes behind a tab that says banned words in your binder. It's kind of toward the back. So let me show you where it's at. In your binder, toward the back, half finished compositions, way back here, right here. It says banned words. That's where the blue page, yeah, put it back there. Banned words.
That's where the blue page goes?
That's where the blue page goes. Only the blue page so far. Okay. And then everything else for the ox, or wait, which one did we do? Oh, the why opossum has a bare tail. All this stuff goes behind finished compositions now. Okay, the keyword outline, your paragraph, if you have that, if you wrote it out on a paper, everything goes behind finished compositions now. By the way, if your binder is getting too full, you can move your finished compositions to a different binder. That'll free up some space, okay, if it's too full. So go ahead and put away week 7, which is why opossum has a bare tail. And then you probably guessed it, you're going to get out week 8. And that one is behind source text, the beginning. So you're going to get out week 8, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages you're going to get out. So take out 8, and then you also need a lined piece of paper. So make sure you get a lined piece of paper out too. And when you got all that done, give me a thumbs up so I know you're ready. So you need all of week 8 and then a lined piece of paper. So Lacey, did you have a question?
Do I get this pink page too?
Yeah, the pink page, there's a yellow page in there too. There's this one, the main story, and then a pink page, and then a checklist. So all that comes out. There's 5 pages altogether. Okay, good. Thank you, Lacey. I see that. Christopher, you have yours? Give me a thumbs up if you got it. Okay, good. Good. Mariah, I see that. I keep thinking about that giant donut, man. I really want to eat that. Good, Olivia. I see that. So good. Like a cup of coffee with that. Oh, I can't wait. You guys got it, Phoenix and Cash? Okay. Liana, are you good? Okay. The first page we're going to look at is the yellow page. This one. This is page 63. So let's look at this together really quick. It's talking about retelling narrative stories. That's what you guys have been working on in a story sequence chart. Remember SSC, that story sequence chart? And we did that for the Why Opossum Has a Bare Tail. This is showing you what each paragraph is going to do. That first paragraph is when we introduce the characters and the setting. And it's showing you, it looks like Robin Hood here. It's showing you pictures of that story. But in this first paragraph, this is what you answer. Who is in the story? What are they like? When does it happen? And where do they live or go? So in that first paragraph, whenever you're retelling a story, that's what you're focusing on. In the middle of the story, that's when we talk about the conflict and the problem. Remember, we kind of talked about this a little bit with Kung Fu Panda. Like there's always a problem in the stories, right? And then then they solve the problem later. But in the middle, it's talking about what do they want? What do they need or want? What do they think? What do they say or do? So basically we're answering what here. And then at the end, that's when they solve the problem. That's the climax and the resolution. You guys remember that? How is the need resolved? What happens after? What is the message or the lesson? And then here's a little reminder that the title repeats 1 to 3 keywords from the final sentence. So in these pictures, you see this guy, he's probably Robin Hood, I'm guessing. And here he's having an epic battle, right? He's fighting this guy. And then Robin Hood actually looks like, I don't know if that's Robin Hood, but I'm just guessing. He falls into the river, but this guy ends up being nice to him and he helps him out. So that's how he solves his problem, right? So that's the basic like sequence, character setting, conflict problem, and then climax resolution. All right, now let's look at the pink page. This one. This is cool. This is a handy dandy, just for you, list of ly adverbs, because you know you have to have those in your writing now. And look, they gave you a big old list, and then they gave you lots of extra lines, so you can add to this. Lacey?
Sometimes I found this and I used it.
Oh, good. Yeah, this is going to help you a lot, because it's hard sometimes to think of a good ly word. But this is nice. You're going to have a list now for you to look back on. And like I said, if you're reading a story, even if it's in another subject or whatever, and you come across an ly adverb that you really like, put it down here. You can add to this list and keep writing. Mariah?
It goes through like ABCs.
Oh yeah, it's in alphabetical order. That's right. So it starts with the A's. Yep. So that helps too. So use this list. This is for you to help you. Okay, now I want you to get out your lined piece of paper. We're going to set up the story sequence chart here. So go ahead and put your name here. And then today's date is 11/29/23. It's almost December, guys. And our story this week is called The Little Red Hen. So skip a line and we're going to put the little red hen. And this is the SSC, story sequence chart. We're running out of time, so I kind of want to go kind of fast, but if I'm going too fast, you tell me, okay? I'll slow down a little bit. You're going to skip a line, and remember, you're going to draw a line down a little bit to the left side of the page, just a little bit more this way. Give yourself plenty of room on this side. And this is where we draw the line down, and we're going to build our chart now. And you're just going to do Roman numeral 1 up here at the top on the right side of the line. And this time we're going to do 1 through 4. Like that. Skip a line. I'll give you a second to catch up if you're still working on stuff. 2, 3, 4. Skip a line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so write all that down on your page. Liana, I still see you moving stuff around. Are you good? Yeah, okay. Okay, once you write all those numbers down for your chart, go ahead and draw your lines across. Remember, right on top of the Roman numeral 1. I go a little past the line here. That's okay. Right on top of Roman numeral 2 and right on top of Roman numeral 3. And then at the very bottom. So now we have like a chart. By the way, this is the last time we're doing these charts. So if you don't really like them, you can be happy about that because we're almost done. But if you ever get an assignment in the future to write a story, use this chart. This will help you a lot. Okay, so raise your hand if you know what we talk about in that first paragraph. We reviewed it earlier. Mariah, what goes here in the first paragraph?
Who, what, when, and where.
Yes, those are the questions. So Olivia, what are we talking about in that paragraph?
Characters and setting.
There we go. But you're right, Mariah. It is who, what, when, where. Characters / setting. Actually, I usually just put who and then where and then when. Sometimes we answer the what question. I know it said that on the yellow page. But this first paragraph, we're going to focus only on the characters and the setting, mostly. Okay. So we're going to fill in the rest of this later. We're just going to focus on the first paragraph today because we need to make sure to have time to read the story. So now, go ahead and get out the story, The Little Red Hen. Notice it's kind of long. It's actually 2 full pages. when you go to write this, you're just going to do one paragraph this week, and then you're going to finish it up with the 2 paragraphs next week. So it'll be 3 paragraphs altogether, but it's a really long story, okay? So as I'm reading, I want you to think about the characters and the setting as I'm reading, because we're going to focus on that part for the first paragraph. So I'm going to read it, and you guys just kind of follow along on yours. The Little Red Hen, it says, abridged from an 1818 telling by Florence White Williams. This is the year 1818. Okay, that was a long time ago. That's more than 200 years ago. This is an old story. So maybe there might be some words in here that you're not sure about. We'll talk about those, but okay, it says, a little red hen lived in a barnyard. She spent almost all of her time walking about the barnyard in her pickety-peckety fashion, scratching everywhere for worms. As often as she found a worm, she would call, chuck, 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 to her chickies. When they were gathered about her, she would distribute choice morsels of her tidbit. A little busybody was she. Okay, really quick here. Distribute means to like hand out, like think about playing cards or something, and you kind of distribute the cards to everybody. If you're playing a game, everybody gets 1 and then 2. So distribute means she was sharing with her chicks, her babies. And then tidbit is just basically like a crumb. It's a little piece of food, really tiny. So she was collecting worms, and she probably tore up the worms for her babies, right? The little pieces. Ew. Okay. A cat usually napped lazily in the barn door, not even bothering herself to scare the rat, who ran here and there as he pleased. And as for the pig, who lived in the sty, that's like a muddy area, like a stall, he did not care what happened so long as he could eat and sleep. It sounds like a pig, right? Eat and sleep. That's all he wants to do. One day, the little red hen found a seed. Carrying it about, she made many inquiries as to what it might be. She found it was a wheat seed, and that if planted, it would grow up, and when ripe, it could be made into flour and then into bread. She called loudly, "Who will help? Who will plant the seed?" But the pig said, "Not I." And the cat said, "Not I." And the rat said, "Not I." "Well, then," said the little red hen, "I will." And she did. Then she went on her daily duties throughout the long summer days. One day, the little red hen chanced to notice how large the wheat seed was, and that the grain was ripe. So she ran about calling briskly, "Who will cut the wheat?" I bet you can guess what they say. The pig said, "Not I." The cat said, "Not I." And the rat also said, "Not I." "Well, then," said the little red hen, "I will." And she did. She got the sickle, that's a knife for cutting down the wheat, out of the barn and proceeded to cut off all of the wheat. She called out, "Who will thresh the wheat?" Okay, so thresh means like separating the stalk from the seeds. So it's like separating it out, okay? But the pig with a grunt said, "Not I." And the cat with a meow said, "Not I." And the rat with a squeak said, "Not I." So the little red hen, rather discouraged, said, "Well, I will do it then." And she did. "Who will carry the wheat to the mill to be ground?" That means like made into powder, basically, like squished and pressed into powder. Turning their backs with snippy glee, that just means like they're being really snobby and selfish right now. The pig and the cat and the rat said, "Not I." So they turned their backs on her. How rude. So the good little hen could do nothing but say, "I will then." And she did. Mrs. Hen retired to her slumbers. That means she went to bed earlier than usual. She would have liked to sleep late in the morning, but as she opened one eye, she thought that today the flour must be made into bread. So after her chores, she hunted up the pig, the cat, and the rat. Still confident that they would surely help her, she sang out, "Who will make the bread?" And the pig said, "Not I." And the cat said, "Not I." And the rat said, "Not I." Ah! So the little red hen said once more, "I will then." And she did. So she set the dough, kneaded the bread, divided it into loaves, and put them in the oven to bake. While the cat sat lazily by, and the vain rat powdered his nose and admired himself in the mirror, give me a break, and in the distance could be heard the snores of the dozing pig. Talk about lazy. At last, a delicious odor was wafted upon the autumn breeze. That just means like, I don't know if you've ever, like maybe your dad or somebody's barbecuing outside and you're outside playing, and then all of a sudden you get this smell of barbecue. It's like, ooh, yummy. I can't wait. I'm so hungry. You get that smell outside. That's what happened. So the baked bread, and you know, that smells amazing. It came through, it wafted, it came to her nose or their nose. The red hen called, "Who will eat the bread?" All the animals in the barnyard were watching hungrily and smacking their lips in anticipation. And the pig said, "I will." And the cat said, "I will." And the rat said, "I will." But the little red hen said, "No, you won't. I will." And she and her chicks ate the bread. So neener, neener, nobody got to eat it. Ha ha. Because they didn't help. They were all being lazy. There's other stories like this too. I'm sure you've heard that theme before. Nobody wanted to help. We have a book that's called, I used to read it to my kids when they were little. It was called Cook-a-Doodle-Doo. Have you guys ever heard of that one before? Cook-a-Doodle-Doo? Oh, Mariah has. It's about this rooster, and it's the same thing. He's trying to make strawberry shortcake. And he's like, "Who will help me do this and that?" And they all say, "Not me, not I, not I." And then at the end, they all want to eat it, but the rooster ate it all at the end. So he didn't want to share. All right. So characters and setting, that's what we're going to start with this week. Who's the main character in the story? Who can tell me who the story is mostly about? Lacey?
Little red hen.
Yes, good. And I'm thinking, so we can save space on words here because we're still doing 3 words only on this outline. What if we circle the LRH and we just call her LRH? We can remember that, right? Little red hen. LRH, that's little red hen. And Liana, can you tell me a little bit about her personality in the beginning? Like, what is she like? What is her character like in the beginning? What is she doing in the very, very beginning, like that first paragraph?
Started putting the weed.
Wait, say that again?
She started putting the weed.
Yeah, but before that, before she even found the seed, in the very, very, very beginning, that first paragraph, she's busy, right? She's busy in the beginning. What was she looking for in the beginning? Before the seed. See if Liana can find it. I see you guys raising hands, but hold on a second. Right here. She's scratching everywhere for
Worms.
Worms, because what is she doing?
She's gonna grab
Feeding
them for her baby.
Feeding her babies. There you go. Okay, so I would say to tell a little bit more about her character, I think saying that she's busy and she's caring for her chicks, right? She's taking care of her chicks. How could we put that in there, Liana, in our keyword outline? She's busy. Maybe we could put worms.
Yeah.
And then you said she was feeding her babies. So they're called, in the story, they're called chickies. What if we put chickies?
Okay.
Okay, so that's how she is in the beginning. She's busy collecting worms for her chickies. Christopher, who else is in the story? What are the other animals that are in the story?
The pig, the cat, and the rat.
The pig, the cat, and the rat. So which one should we talk about first? Which one of those animals do you want to talk about first, Christopher?
Oh, pig.
Let's talk about the pig. Okay, let's put pig here. Tell me about the pig. What is the pig like? What does he do?
Lazy.
Lazy. All he wants to do is what?
Eat the bread.
Well, before that part, Christopher, what does he want to do in the beginning? Sleep. Let's put lazy and sleep. Good. And then Lacey, what character should we talk about next? There's the cat or the rat. Which one do you want to talk about next?
The cat.
The cat. And tell me about the cat. What is he doing in the beginning, or she?
Mm,
Oh, it's a girl. Herself, yeah. What is something about her personality or her character? Right here at the beginning where it says this part where she comes into the story, a cat usually
Yeah.
napped lazily in the barn door. So we could say napped and barn. That tells us where too. That kind of helps us with the setting. And then the rat. So Cash, what can we say about the rat? What happens here with the rat? Let's see, where does he come in? As long as he can sleep. Oh, here. Who ran here and there as he pleased. That's what they're saying about the rat. He just kind of, and that's kind of how rats are, right? They just kind of like go wherever.
They run.
Run. But do you know a word to describe that? Like going here and there and everywhere and a word?
Scattered.
Scattered. Yeah. What did you say, Phoenix?
I said scurry.
Scurry. Either one of those. Yep. Scurry. That's a good one. And he was kind of like free. Like he just didn't have a care in the world. He was maybe even carefree. Let's squeeze in that word care up here. Carefree. Carefree is one word, by the way. I just kind of put them on top of each other, but carefree just means like he doesn't have a care in the world. He doesn't have to worry about anything or really do anything. He just likes to go where he wants, wherever he pleases. And then, Olivia, do you have something to add to that?
On pig, cat, and rat, we could circle the beginning letter so that instead of writing the whole words when we're writing about in the story, we could just write the first letter.
Yes, and that's a good idea. We're going to need to do that later because we're going to have to talk about them a lot. So that would save some words for sure. I think in this the first one though, we probably need to write it out so we can remember. But we have a space for one more, and I think this would be a good spot to talk about Olivia. So let's think about the hen for a second. And where was she and what did she find in the beginning there?
She was running along and she was scratching and she found the seed
She
on
found a
her
seed on her what?
feathers.
Okay. So she found a seed. Do you remember what kind of seed it was?
A wheat seed.
A wheat seed. So I think that would be a good place to mention that. And then where does it say she was? I think it mentions, oh, it's in the first sentence. She lived in a
Barnyard.
barnyard. That's kind of an old-fashioned way to say farm. But it's kind of a cool word, barnyard, same thing as farm. And then you're right, she found a wheat seed. So that's basically setting up the story, right? We're introducing all the characters and then what they're doing. And then here we get to the part where she finds the wheat seed. I wonder if we should put LHR here because it's the little red hen that finds the wheat seed. I squeezed that in there. Okay, I think we answered pretty much who, where, and we didn't really say when, but that's okay. We don't need to. It's basically during the day if you wanted to add that to your paragraph. Mariah, did you have something to say?
There's a movie called Barnyard.
Say that again.
There's a movie called Barnyard.
Oh, a movie called Barnyard. Yeah, there is. It's funny. I've seen it before. It's a good one. I forgot about that one. It's a good one. Okay, let's look at, hold on here. My screen keeps moving around. Okay. Let's look at the checklist really quick because you guys are going to just write the first paragraph of this story this week, okay? We'll do 2 and 3 next week. You're just going to focus on that first paragraph, but let's take a look at the checklist because it's a little bit different. Don't worry about the title yet because you won't do that until the very end when you're done with the story next week. But I want you to look at, you still have your 3 dress ups, your ly adverb, the who which clause, and then you have a strong verb. Each one of those needs to be underlined, okay? And then we do have some more banned words here. And they put it on the checklist to help you remember. So you can't, this is hard because everybody's talking in this story, right? But you can't say or said. You're going to have to get creative and think of how you can put that other than say or said. And then see, saw, think, thought, and go, went. So don't use those. You'll have to go to that tab in your binder of the banned words and you can pick one of those other words in there. Okay. And then, by the way, did you know that the words that we wrote down instead of these, those are called strong verbs. So you could underline them. So like if you said something about the little red hen clucked, who will help me bake the bread or something like that. If you say the word clucked, that's a strong verb. You could underline that as a strong verb because you don't want to say the little red hen said. You don't want to say that because that's a banned word. You could say the little red hen asked. You could say it that way, and that could be a strong verb. So make sure you use something other than these and you can underline it as a strong verb, okay? Do you guys have any questions? Oh, go ahead, Olivia.
Instead of using the same word when they say said, you should use different words because it makes your writing seem more interesting. But if you use the same word like 5 times, it gets a little bit boring.
Yes, good point. That's right. And whenever, because later we're going to talk about what they say to each other, right? So for the mouse, you could say squeaked. For the cat, you could say meowed. I think they did that in the story itself too. So instead of saying said, you can change it up like depending on the animal, right? That would make it more interesting. Anybody else have anything to say or any questions about the homework? All righty, good job, you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.